Good morning, Hurricanes. I'm Sarah Davidson.
And I'm Lila Vargas.
Coming up, we'll be looking at Red Ribbon Dress Up Week, the volleyball season, some screen time statistics, and the Tempest podcast.
Now let's get started, Hurricanes.
As we can observe, technology has surely advanced in this day and age, and there are definitely many positive outcomes of it. But with the positive comes the negatives too, and one of them is excessive screen time. Hi, my name is Latman Dollar, and I'm going to ask some of our students how much time they spend on their devices.
What app on your phone do you use the most?
I'd probably have to say Snapchat because that's how I communicate with a lot of my friends.
And how long do you use it for?
About every minute, every hour of the day, probably.
Are you binge watching any show recently?
Yes, I have. I've been binge watching The Good Doctor.
How long do you usually binge watch for?
I usually binge watch like in a day, hours-wise, 4 hours.
App on your phone would you say you use the most?
Snapchat.
How long would you say you spend on that app?
7 hours a day.
Okay. Are you binge watching any show recently?
Yeah, I've been watching a series of unfortunate events.
How long do you usually binge watch for?
And at least like two and a half hours watching.
Yeah. What app on your phone do you use the most?
I probably use Snapchat the most.
How long would you say you spend on that app?
Like probably more than 7 hours a day.
Mostly teens and tweens are using technology exceedingly, and it can lead to many difficulties such as sleep problems, educational problems, violence, changes in behaviors, etc. There's nothing wrong with using your phone since it helps us in many ways, such as connecting with our friends and family and having internet access, which itself has a ton of advantages, but make sure not to use it tremendously. Use it with caution and make time limits for yourself to not be affected by it negatively. Thanks for joining me today, and you're watching Cain Live.
Starting off, the Red Sox and the Dodgers played last Sunday, with the Red Sox winning and now leading in the series 4-1. In Klein Cain news, the Klein Cain varsity football traveled to Oak Ridge this Saturday. The Canes played a strong game but sadly couldn't come out on top, losing 7-34. And now, Hurricanes, we're going to go to a volleyball recap of this season. And now, right here, I have
Tristan
and
Hannah.
Hi girls, so how do you think your volleyball season went this year?
I think that we did really well. It was our first varsity season, so it was a hard fight throughout the thing with our hard district, but we ended up coming off with a big win against Oak.
Do you have anything to add?
I think there's a lot of improvement from everyone, all 3 teams this year, and I'm excited to see what we can bring next year.
Okay, Hurricanes, you heard it here first. I'm Naya Solar, and I'll see you next week.
Cain Theater will be performing Bad Seed at 7 p.m. on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. You can buy your tickets at kleincaintheater.net or at the door.
And now let's take a look at what else is coming up this week. Well, Hurricanes, that's all we have for you this week. I'm Sarah Davidson.
And I'm Lila Vargas. We'll see you next week.